hit that recording on there. We're going to bring Dave Espino on in just a while. And I've known Dave for maybe going on a year, and he's a Udemy instructor, but he's like well known before that for being, I guess, the eBay guy and being on infomercials, which I think that is really cool that he's done something like that. And he lives down in the LA area, and he's got a lot of courses out. And I know that he posted something in either the Udemy studio or the faculty lounge that he was going to kind of change gears for 2016 and do things a little bit differently. So we're going to talk with him. We're going to talk about some ideas for success. I know that Barb is working on some Udemy courses, and hopefully those will be coming out soon or launched in 2016. Yes. So we'll talk about that. And I know people like Jeremy. Jeremy has struggled with Udemy after putting out a bunch of courses on things like Canva, GarageBand. I myself this month has been completely it's like things flatline with my courses, and I'm working on some more course ideas. And so maybe Dave will bring some information to the chat that would be useful to people like myself or you or Jeremy. It's snowing in Sweden. I think it pretty much probably snows in Sweden all the time. I was just looking at that. 70 degrees in Maryland. Oh boy, that's crazy. 70 sounds nice. Hey, go ahead and type in your location there. I'm in Boise, Idaho, and Barb is in Bend, Oregon, or actually in Redmond, which is part of the Bend area. Beautiful area of the country in Central Oregon. I've been there several times over the last year. The first time I went there, I was really young. I was probably 9 years old the first time that we went to Bend, and we know how much that area has grown since then. It's its own little mini city, but not as big as Boise. So right. I like Bend, but then I'm like, I like some of the things that we have here, the variety of things and choices and things like that. But Bend has a lot of good things going on there, and they probably don't want too many people moving there. Council Bluffs, Iowa, Lakeland, Florida. Wow. I know Jeremy's in Florida. In Orange County, mid-60s today. Ooh, a heat wave. Bethesda, Maryland. I've heard of that before. I know that one of our senators, late senators, Frank Church from Idaho, I think that's where he lived, is Bethesda, and that's, I think, where he passed away too. So Jeremy says that he's cleaning the office, so he's back and forth today, but yeah, he needs all the help that he can get, so he's admitting that. Bethesda is the restaurant capital of the country. I would be in trouble there. Hey, Dave, you can go ahead and come on in now. We're just chit-chatting a little bit, getting things started. My name is Dennis. I'm the host of the show, and I am in Boise, Idaho. And you are listening to Late Night with You, Me, and Udemy. Hey, Dave.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
What did you do? Did you just draw that up?
Yeah.
Let me see. Look at that.
Hey, we want to be
too. Wow,
be cohesive here with our branding, right?
I like that.
Yeah, let's put a little higher here.
I know mine.
Let's put it right here.
I guess
I can't go back any further. All right. So, hey, we would love it. Like if you ask questions during the blab by putting in / the letter Q, a space, and then your question, just like Jeremy did. And if you click on that button with the tweet and the bird to let people know that we're talking about 2016 success with Udemy instructor Dave Espino, and you can post it to Facebook too, if you would like. And Barb has got something fancy there, an image that she just shared that shows you how to do it. Wow. That's pretty cool.
Ooh.
I like that. So yeah, / the letter Q, a space, and then typing in your question will flag it and let us know that you've got a question. And we'll open up that empty seat too in a while, and you can come in and ask your question live. But we're going to talk about so Dave, I know that you had gone and created all of these courses, and you probably have enough to start your own Udemy now. And and you have over something like 40 or a little bit more. And you had, I guess, Black Friday was not as you expected it. And so you kind of, over the course of the last few weeks, it sounds like have been deep in thought on how you want to shift your plans. You're also co-host of a Blab show with Phil Ebner, and we'll talk about that show. I think it's the Passive Income Show.
That's right, Passive Income Show.
Yeah, so we'll talk about the Passive Income Show. But first, I want to talk about what's been going on since Black Friday and what you posted in the studio. So go ahead and talk about that while I take a sip of my drink here.
Well, I think the main thing for me was last year, Black Friday in 2014 was a really big boost in sales for me. I think my sales increased about 5 times from my previous high that year.
Wow.
So this year, I don't like to project too often or too much, but this year, from kind of a logical point of view, I was going, okay, Udemy has added something like 3 or 4 million students. We knew that going into Black Friday. This year, they added 3 or 4 million students. I've added about 18 or 20 courses to my, quote, portfolio. It's a term that Udemy used, not me. And the optimization that I did to all my courses and all the work that I did for about 4 or 5 months to get my courses ready for Black Friday, I figured those 3 things should add up to some pretty good results on Black Friday, right? And they didn't. So they weren't horrible results, but they just weren't the growth that I was expecting. And so it got me, that plus some additional input that I got from speaking to people at Udemy got me thinking about how to best approach Udemy going forward. Now, I have to preface this by saying I have 40 courses. You know, I'm in a different place than a lot of people who maybe have 1, 2, or 3 courses and maybe still have a ways to be able to add to their course portfolio, add more courses to their Udemy, course catalog, so to speak. But so I'm in a different place in terms of deciding, okay, at 40 courses, do I continue to add more courses or do I change it up a little bit? So the main thing that I got from having one conversation, I'm part of the Udemy Instructor Council, which is simply instructors that give input to Udemy. And as part of that, sometimes we have phone calls with people there that are working on instructor development and things like that. So on one of these calls, I was fortunate to be talking to not only my contact at Udemy, but also the head of the business category at Udemy, the business category of courses, which is really where most of my courses are in. And I got a little bit of new input that I had always wondered about. And I think it's really important for a lot of instructors to know this input. And that is a couple of main input points. One was, do I continue to add courses to my portfolio, or how do I work this? And one of the inputs was that sometimes if you have too many courses on one topic, even if those courses may be differentiated from your other courses, you tend to, what his word was, you tend to cannibalize the search results. Mm-hmm. So if you go in, like I have about 15 courses about eBay, and I was thinking about this afterwards, and I'm thinking, to the average person, why would you need 15 courses about eBay? Why not just have one big course about eBay, right? To the average person, that would make sense. For me, it was like, I have one course all about buying and selling classic cars on eBay. That's a whole niche in itself, right? It's something I did successfully. I bought and sold a lot of classic cars, had a lot of fun with them. versus, going to flea markets and finding stuff to resell on eBay, right? So they are kind of niched.
Yeah.
But his point was, if I go in and I search eBay and I see 2 or 3 courses by the same instructor, I might get a little confused as to which course is the best for me, number one. Number two, I might also start thinking, well, wait a minute, why didn't this instructor just put them all into one course? You might feel a little shortchanged by seeing several courses by the same person. And it kind of cannibalizes your search results, where you might not have great results overall in your search results. So his advice was to actually see where among my courses, where I can bundle courses into bigger and more comprehensive courses. Now, that brings me to the second kind of finding, the second discovery that I made with this phone call. And that was that he said that, yes, bigger courses translate to higher conversion rates, and bigger courses are more likely to be promoted by Udemy, which up until now, I don't think any of us as instructors knew the answer to that question.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The tendency for us as instructors is, well, they're gonna discount our courses down, right? So I might as well create smaller courses, pump out a lot of courses so that I have more opportunities to make a sale.
Sure.
But what he is saying is that it's better to build more comprehensive, filled out, even what they called flagship courses, the end all be all course on this topic. And if you have multiple courses, you might want to bundle them into one bigger course, because students will look at the length of the course and they'll say, hey, well, this course is 8 hours, and for my 15 or 20 or $10, I might as well buy the 8-hour course because it probably includes the information in the 3-hour course.
Yeah.
So that's kind of their thinking. So those are a couple of, I thought, really kind of groundbreaking findings. I even followed the phone call up with my contact, and I said, hey, wait a minute, are you guys saying, this? And she said, yes, that's exactly what we're saying. So I don't know how official that is, but it's good enough for me to start making some changes. And for example, I have 3 courses about Blab, about how to use Blab successfully, right? Well, that's a no-brainer. That one I could just condense into one big course, take the main meat of the other 2 courses. I had one main course and then 2 others, and take all that stuff and put it into one, and then basically unpublish the other 2. So, we still retain the students there, but now I've got the kind of end-all course about how to use Blab successfully. So those are the main ideas that I got. I think it would be good for us to talk about it, and good for us to even answer some questions from people here that are joining us. But I thought it was pretty eye-opening. Yeah, as far as that goes.
Yeah, I think it's like, I kind of like had thought about stuff because there had been some discussion in some of the mastermind groups or some of the closed groups that are on Facebook with, instructors just having conversations about stuff. And, like one of them is that how many courses can you have? Like, how much information does one person have? Like, how many is too many courses? Because you have to maintain those courses, and you also have to have engagement. And that's one of the hardest things to do in a Udemy course, is to get students to engage and answer questions or post things. Like, I know Jeremy's Canva course, that he tries to get the students to post something that they've created in there. And for me, sometimes I forget to go with that engagement because I'm so wrapped up with everything else that I'm doing, including wanting to create some more courses, because I have 7 and I would like to double that to at least 14. But I think that you have a good point with a flagship course, because Phil Ebner and I had talked about that. He's got some of those flagship courses, and I think that those are working really well for him. We know what his income is, And I mean, so talking about it, I don't think is a problem. So he's making $10,000 a month on his Udemy courses, and I can tell you that I would be pleased as punch, I think is the term, if I were making $10,000 a month. I would be traveling around the country. I would be out of here right now on a beach in the Bahamas or Florida and done with the snow. So, yeah. So you have some great points. I mean, it was really interesting because I've had those calls, a few calls with Udemy where they'll ask me questions about certain topics, pricing or whatnot. Or there was a conversation about the studio one time. And it's nice that they do that. But you kind of have to play around with things and fine tune things to see what works. And, because like we went from Black Friday and now the talk from a lot of people is like, where did my sales go? And it's like, okay, are you marketing? What are you doing to market? They're not doing anything. And it's like, what do you expect? That Udemy's still going to send the same kind of traffic to your course as you got during a big promotion? It's your turn to start doing the work and start doing the marketing and learn where to find students for your courses, which they're out there, because some people say,
absolutely.
They like, I think saying that all of the people who were interested in my course have already signed up, because I've heard some instructors say that. And I'm like, that's BS. Nope. That's BS, because when you think about how many students Udemy has, there's still a ton of potential for new students as more and more people discover Udemy. And if you do the right things and maybe do what Dave's talking about, and creating some of these flagship courses in your areas of expertise, then you might see a significant increase in income. But it's a very tough thing to do, because you're totally right when you talk about eBay, that selling cars on eBay is a completely different thing than doing what you said, going to some of these flea markets, because I go to thrift stores and I've tried to sell some stuff. I bought some iPhone cases for $1 and I thought, I'm going to make a killing off of this on eBay. I put them on there, nothing. And I know that because you can, one of the tricks that I've learned is take your phone with you and scan the barcode if you find an item, and it might find how much that sells for typically. Those cases at Target sold for around $15. So if I sold 3 of them for $10, that's a pretty good deal. So, I wouldn't give up. Like, just because it didn't sell doesn't mean, oh, well, that was a flop. Maybe I just didn't do something right. So maybe I should be taking, like your course, or Sergey's got courses, Matt's got courses on eBay. There's a lot of different courses out there. And just because everybody's got, like, you've got a course on eBay and Matt's got a course, doesn't mean that they're not going to sell, because, again, there's so many different people out there looking for that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the world for online education is so massive. We haven't, and Udemy hasn't scratched the surface yet. 9 million members, as big as that sounds, is tiny compared to, for example, Amazon has 250 million members.
Yeah.
And the cool thing about Amazon is they have these 250 million members, and they already have most of their credit card information on hand. So it's just that one-click order. That's amazing.
Me.
So yeah. So 250 million members. eBay has something like 170 million members, and those are retail, online retail sites. Yes, online education would probably tend to be smaller, but there's still a huge amount of room to grow. Just huge. I've been talking to a startup company that wants to get into online education, and they're saying 9 million, that's a drop in the bucket. They have such, bigger goals and bigger ways to get members on. So what I guess want to say is, as we might be a little, especially if you haven't been on Udemy long, December is going to be a disappointing month for most people. Mm-hmm. Ironically, my December is actually doing pretty well compared to even last month, and better than I expected, actually, which is a good thing in my mind, because December to me establishes the floor for the next year. In other words, you kind of can't expect it to go lower than December this whole coming year. So the point that I want to get, though, is, we're going to see a lot of people that are kind of discouraged in December, going, man, this is horrible. We're not making as many sales, blah, blah, blah. But just hang in there. January is going to be a lot better. February is going to be good. It's just going to continue to grow as long as you hang in there. But the other point I wanted to make about my plans going forward is, because I have so many courses, I'm going to do some consolidating. So I may not be able to claim, I have 40 courses. I might have to say like 35. I'm going to have to boil some down, combine some. For example, my Blab course, for sure, that's going to be combined into one. So that'll be 3 courses going into one. I'll probably combine some eBay courses and such, and do that. And here's the reason is Udemy is doing advertising and promoting of our courses, but what they first have to see is that our courses are converting into sales. So as well as all the things we might do on our landing page to improve sales and to optimize, and everything we might be doing to make a quality course to begin with, we want to start to add content, where appropriate, not just add it, but add content to our courses and build them out, bigger, so that they convert better. All of these things fall into the category of converting better. Mm-hmm. And when I say converting, it just means they sell better.
Yeah.
And so as they convert better, they'll appear on Udemy's algorithms on their radar, and Udemy will start testing, okay, let's test this course because it looks like it's selling well, and so by converting, we have to be careful to understand what we mean is, out of every 10 people that visit the page, a percentage of those people buy, or out of every 100 people that visit your course landing page, a certain percentage of people buy. Well, at a certain level of that percentage, Udemy is going to take notice. If, for example, just, out of the blue, if you had 100 people visit the page and 50 bought, that'd be a home run, right? And Udemy would be instantly, they'd just start funneling money and advertising dollars to that course, because 50% conversion rate is ridiculous, right? I mean, we all know that's crazy. But if you had that kind of a course, that would be the course that would be promoted the most. So I really believe that there are a lot of people that got in early and that were in the right category for Udemy to notice and to see that they were selling well. And as those courses were selling well and converting well, the algorithms picked it up, started promoting those courses more. And now we see those courses at the top of the search results and at the top of all the promotions. We see them kind of, I call it a perennial, course. It's perennially going to be at the top because it just happened to benefit from the right place, right time, and the right conversion rates going, Now, that doesn't mean that we can't be that same course for our time. It might be a little harder, but it's still possible. If we get a high enough conversion rate, Udemy will notice that, it'll appear on their radar, and then they'll start sending traffic to it. So that's how a lot of this kind of stuff works. That's how it works on Amazon. If you have a product on Amazon and Amazon sees that it's selling well, they'll start directing funds to advertise that product more to increase their results, because it's all about the bottom line.
Yeah, it benefits too, that if your product is selling well, because they get a piece of that pie. What are you doing to promote your courses off of Udemy blog posts? Because I know, I was thinking about it. You don't go into like the Facebook groups and stuff like that and post coupons usually, or if at all, I think. So what are you doing to promote your courses?
I have not, up until now, I have not really thought much about marketing my courses. I would do what I call hobby marketing, what I mean is just taking my marketing very casually. Like I have a YouTube channel that has a lot of videos on it. So I would direct a lot of those YouTube links to my Udemy courses. Or I go on Quora just for fun, and I'll answer questions. I'll answer questions about Udemy or answer questions about eBay. And I'll almost always include a link to one of my courses that relates to that question. And those are two good sources of getting targeted traffic to your course. They're not great unless that Quora question happens to get a lot of views. If it happens to get a lot of views, then you've got a good opportunity there. Same with the YouTube channel. Some people do really well on YouTube because they happen to be in a topic that already gets a lot of traffic. Now, my topics like eBay and selling online, they don't get as much traffic, so I have to work harder at it, right? But the point is, I've only casually marketed my courses. Now, going into 2016, I'm going to be doing a lot more marketing in two main areas. One is teaching people how to teach online, and two is having an eBay sales funnel. So it'll be the two main kind of categories of what I can teach well. Mm-hmm. And these sales funnels will be real sales funnels where you've got you give away a freebie, some kind of a free report or free video on the front end in exchange for their name and email address. Then you instantly offer them one of your courses as an instant upsell. Mm-hmm. So you offer that course, and then whether they take that course or not, they're on your email list. So you have an autoresponder string of emails going out to them mm-hmm. to go, hey, go take this course, even if they didn't buy the course. And then the third level is I'm going to offer a coaching program to those people to make sure, hey, if you want coaching about Udemy, check out this program. And that's a whole nother upsell, so to speak, but it's a high dollar upsell. And this is why it's important. It'll be a $500 or $1,000 coaching program. It might even go to $2,500, depending on the level of interaction that I'm going to have with the student. That's when the economics of buying Facebook ads now makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay. A lot of people try to buy Facebook ads to send to their Udemy course. It's not going to work in most cases. What you need is an established, developed funnel where the first thing you do is you get that lead, that name and email address on your email list. Okay, that's the first thing, because that allows you to communicate with them over and over again. The second thing is you offer an instant upsell, maybe $47. And by the way, that's hosted on Teachable. Okay, it's not hosted on Udemy. And I'll explain why in a little bit. And then the third level, the people that raise their hands at the third level say, yeah, I want coaching. I want to do this, seriously. Then the upsell and the coaching helps pay for the Facebook ads and make you a profit. But if all you had was that first level, you may or may not make a profit on your Facebook ads. It's just the way Facebook ads work.
Yeah. That's kind of interesting that you talk about that, because I have like a funnel set up for DennisJSmith.com, and I offer my WordPress marketing course for free. And then I don't know if I've talked to you about it, but I've talked to Phil about it. It's called ConvertKit. And it's someone that I know here in Boise who started it. And Pat Flynn actually is using it now. And so it does the drip marketing, which, I mean, the more common term for that is like an autoresponder. So I go through, and when you do a sequence with something like that, you don't want to do sell. It's like you talked about, you offer them something for free, and then you might the next email saying, by the way, I have this over there. But you talked about the coaching, because that's one of the things that I've always had in the back of my mind. And one of the reasons why I bought a website called thecoursefactory.com is because I wanted to offer services to Udemy instructors. And one of the things that I find, the hardest thing that I find to do, is to get people who are going to commit to like what you talked about $500 or $1,000, because we know that coaching is not cheap, but we also know that coaching, that there are studies that show that it's worth it. There are CEOs of multi-million-dollar companies that have people coaching them on how to be better CEOs and all of that. So how do you think that you get past that, with the money and stuff like that? Maybe that there's a small fraction of people that are willing to pay that?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You're allowing the system to filter out the people who can't or won't get coaching. You maybe offer them. Here's the other part that I kind of forgot when I was describing the funnel, is for those who can't afford the coaching, I'm going to have a downsell.
Yeah.
That meaning I'm going to have a bundle of courses about Udemy that they can take advantage of at a discounted rate. And that way, they don't feel so bad that they couldn't afford coaching or couldn't get involved with it. They can have the quote unquote home study version and still, get the success that
Absolutely.
they want. But yeah, it is a self-selecting process, and that's how I want to do it. I don't want to convince anyone to do coaching who shouldn't do coaching, for either financial reasons, or sometimes they're just not clear in their mind yet that they really want to do this. I've done quite a few coaching programs. I have a couple of them here. This one, it was my high-end one. It's the Beyond eBay Protege program, and this was 6 DVDs, about 10 hours of video training that I did, plus one-on-one coaching for my students. And I think we sold that for $2,500. And the point is, I always want a qualification process. I want to have a survey before I even talk to them, where they fill this out. They tell me, I ask some really good, incisive questions to get a feel from them as to A, are they serious enough? Are they committed enough? Are they going to go stick with it? And do they have a good, realistic understanding of what is involved? Because if any of those things are missing, I don't actually want to work with them. You know what I mean? It would be wrong for me to work with them, because they're probably not going to get the results that they expect. And it would be wrong for me to work with them because I'll be wasting my time. And it would be wrong for me to work with them because chances are they're going to be going, oh, this didn't work for me. And I want every coaching student to be successful.
Yeah.
So it is a process of self-selection and a process of qualifying your coaching student or potential coaching students and determining whether you actually want to work with them. Because it's actually kind of a bummer, to use a technical term, to work with somebody who got in under the wrong idea, whether it was they understood me wrong or they just didn't understand it right. Whatever the reason is, it's just not the best fit. Coaching is a serious thing, so I want to be sure that they're serious about being coached.
Yeah.
So we don't worry as much about how many people get coaching. I'm more concerned that the right people, are getting coached.
Yeah. Great. Hey, I wanted to let everybody know that I wanted to thank Barb for answering questions and checking out what's going on there in the chat while Dave and I are chit-chatting. She actually is working on some of her own Udemy courses, so I am hoping that she's finding this beneficial too. And then we have a question too from Chad. He wants to know how long you've been on Udemy, because you mentioned 40 courses. Dave can crank out courses fairly quick, and I've talked about that because he's done a lot of stuff with eBay training in the past. He's actually done infomercials. So when he was holding up that DVD, it was more than likely like one of the products that they were selling late at night on eBay. But he has a whole system down, including his yellow notepad that he's shown before. But yeah, so how long have you been on Udemy?
I think I started in August of 2013, maybe.
Wow.
Yeah, 2013. But all I did was I posted an existing information product up on Udemy, and then they came back with the review and they said, basically, this is all wrong. because I didn't even read, I didn't read their instructions or anything. So I posted, I think it was like an hour and 20-minute video that I had done, a webinar, and I posted an hour and 20-minute audio of the same thing, and I posted an ebook, and they said, no, we need 5 sections, we need 2 to 20 minutes, we need this, and I'm like, oh, okay. So then I just let it sit for a while, and then I think I was in the Udemy studio, and I started seeing some people posting their incomes, and I'm like, maybe I should take another look at this. So then I went and followed all their directions, and that was my first course. And then I got excited because I had all these existing. It just so happened, Dennis, that the year before that, I had committed to doing a webinar every week. I think it was every week or every month. I'm pretty sure it was every month. A webinar every month. And this was for my subscribers, I would then sell the recording of the webinar. So people could join the webinar for free. They could attend for free. And then if they wanted the recording, it was like super cheap, like $7 or $15 to get the recording. Okay. So I already had the content. I had the PowerPoints for all these webinars that I had done. So all I did was I just started putting them into Udemy and turning them into courses. So those were my first courses, were all about eBay and different eBay topics. And then when I started making some, some decent money, I was like, okay, what else can I teach about? And then I started teaching about internet marketing concepts that I'd learned over the years and all these things. So that was kind of the adventure. But I'd say most of my courses came in the last year. And I really got serious after Black Friday, November 2014. That's when I would say, technically started on Udemy. Prior to that, I wasn't really taking it that seriously, and I wasn't making a lot of money at it because I wasn't taking it seriously and I wasn't really focusing in. But after November of 2014, I dug in and I basically bought every top instructor's course to learn and get kind of immerse myself in this whole Udemy culture and environment to understand, okay, what are these top people doing that is being successful for them? And then I started applying those to my courses. So, but I can crank them out pretty quick because I have a lot of experience creating content like that. Yeah, that's
pretty cool. And Barb, she's watched over 80 courses from different instructors, probably including your course. I know that she's watched mine. But Barb should be able to have some wonderful courses because she's watched so many of them. So she's seen the things like what not to do and what to do,
Absolutely.
One of the great...
No, that's a great way to go.
Sorry. But I've taken several of Dave's classes. Actually, I've completed them. As of today, I've completed 90 courses on Udemy as a student.
That is awesome.
It looks like I'm going to, because some of them are partially done, and it looks like I will complete 100 by the end of the year. So
when are you going to launch your own course?
Dennis, let me talk. So everything I do is strategic. And I was all thinking, well, I'll go to get in the way for the year-end sale, thinking that might be smart to do. However, the last course I took by Chad Tennant talked about the times of year and that it was really better to wait until the 15th of January. That he felt the uptick was then. Now, I've been doing independent research from Udemy, independent research by way of where the e-learning industry was going, and also stumbled on to some of the moves that Udemy has made in this last year. And they're collaborating with Singapore in education and that whole new program that they're doing. Also with master classes, I think it's master class that they're going after celebrities. And so I'm taking, Kevin Spacey's acting class and James Patterson's writing class. And each of those are costing me $90. So that's setting, a new floor for pricing. And I, as a student, I would not want to take a long series of lectures in a course. Like if you were putting all the blab together. I mean, I don't think you should be repeating. I like the fact of you can get the whole series for all the different segments for a certain price to bundle the pricing, but cover by segment so that if I need just a particular segment, I take that, because our attention span has gone way down as a society, and it's becoming more and more important to become engaging in your videos and engaging with your students. So if you give them, because I hear what the Udemy personnel told you, but I have someone else that's on the inside of Udemy, and I'm getting another story. So the deal.
Do tell.
but here's the thing, just like Blab is a platform, so are they. And they are very much in beta as well. Microsoft is really in beta. They don't call themselves beta anymore, but they've never been out of beta. Blab just chose to keep the label on. So the thing is that Udemy is on full alert at the moment because the whole market is changing. It's exploding for us as instructors, but you have to rethink your program. There was a young man in here earlier. Brandon's still in here. His icon's there. I think he's doing some work. He said he'd be back in 20. And that young man has made a tremendous income before he was even 18 years old. And I don't know if Brandon's even 18 yet. I think he's right at 18 or 19. But he stepped in here this evening. But he is a Marie Forleo student, and I don't know. You can Google Marie.
Yeah, I know who that is.
But I'm a Marie Forleo graduate myself, and when I was introduced to her through Brandon Bouchard, whose courses I've also taken. Both of those folks have a 1995 program that they want to put you in. And they have a whole funnel to get you there. Well, now Oprah's gone and put Brandon Bouchard in her programs because he's all in motivational and personal development. That's what his course is selling for, $65. So you're getting right, and you're getting Brandon over the Christmas holiday. He comes in live on. Just like Facebook Live on Oprah's site. And of course, he's also getting Oprah's endorsement. So lucky him.
Huge. That's huge.
But the thing is he's done all of those things. And he actually, if you go back and you study the passive income funnel, the whole formula goes way, way back. 2005, I think. The first guy, I've actually got the program. I think his name was, I think it was Lewis. He's out of the
Lewis
UK.
Howell? Oh, no.
No, I'd have to look it up, but I do have it. And then he kind of disappeared, and that Jeff Walker came out. Jeff is in Durango, Colorado, but he's a techie type, and he wasn't a salesperson. He knew the right methodology to deploy, but Brandon Bouchard latched on to him, as did Marie Forleo, as did the guy who owns Lead Pages, and he was a cancer survivor. Also, I can't think of his name, but Mike Konings. Mike Konings is in that passive income the whole program, it's all the same thing that's happening with us here on Udemy. The difference is from what they're doing and us being on Udemy is Udemy does have its own student base, and you need to look at what the makeup of that student base is first, and then develop. It is at a point now where you do have to develop your own marketing programs to go beyond that. But the number one thing that I have learned from all this education is engagement comes first, because engagement will sell you over and over and over. Because frankly, Dave, I wouldn't have taken the first course of yours had we not engaged on here. And
Right.
then through the relationship development said, oh, I need to do that. I need to take something else. And I like your authenticity and your teaching style. And so, I'm in. But the thing is that we all, me going in there at this stage, and you all have already experienced what you have. My whole mission is to address my audience. So if I latch on to the audience that is within that environment, so much the better. And so if I can reach the folks in Singapore, because I looked at when they made everything that they've released to the public, I said, okay, what are those people taking? What do they want to be taught? Because they're the ones who are actually willing to pay the premium prices.
Right.
The rest of them, and the government is helping pay for that. So, it's not, their perspective is different. So, that's why you need to really pay attention to that. I think I don't have it with me tonight, but I put a link in the last blab we had about what was going on in Singapore. But you guys need to Google that and just Udemy in Singapore and that relationship, and it'll come up. But
yeah, I saw that in the Udemy studio. That's pretty amazing. The level of input that government wants to have in online education for their people is huge. One of the things you mentioned there, Barb, was how Blab was important for engagement. And, Blab, when I first discovered it, I'm like, this is it. It's so powerful because it brings the elements of a webinar, which is face-to-face interaction. It brings elements of community because you've got the chat bar on the right. It allows us to communicate one-to-many, which Periscope does, but this is even better because, as many of you know, I'm an introvert, and I would rather have other people helping me with the conversation than me doing the whole thing. Plus, on Periscope, you don't really have that ability to interact as well with people. So the point is that's the reason that I decided, okay, 2016 is a weekly Blab show. We're going to do a weekly Blab show. And I happened to have coffee with Phil at Panera over here. We live literally within 10 minutes away from each other. So we had coffee once, and I was talking about how I want to have this Blab show. And he says, well, do you want to, partner on that? And I said, that would be great. So it just kind of fell into place. But the point is that without that weekly thing, just like Dennis, you're having tonight and every night, every Sunday night, without that weekly consistency of building that audience, building the growth, building the interaction, building the trust factor with your audience, to me, it's a very easy way to promote and market yourself and engage with your audience. But more than that, kind of tagging on to what we talked about at the beginning of this Blab, is I can have a Blab that's just focused on a particular topic, right? For example, this would be separate from the passive income show, but I could have a Blab just talking about buying and selling cars on eBay, right? And then I could take that recording and pull out the best clips out of that recording and add that to my buying cars on eBay course, right? So not only was I able to engage further with an audience, I was able to help the students from my existing course by having them be on a blab with me. I could record it, then I could add that content back into the course, make the course bigger with quality information, right? And I'm also engaging with a new audience from Blab and letting them know about the course. So you're getting so many things done at the same time. It's awesome. And then, not to mention that if you wanted to, you could take some of those snippets and upload them on YouTube. And now you've got YouTube marketing for you. Or upload it to a podcast, and now you've got a podcast, marketing for you.
Yeah.
So that's why Blab to me is a no-brainer. Everyone that is teaching on Udemy should have a Blab about their topic, about their main, their main expertise, because there's so many ways to use this content.
And we've talked about that before. And I don't know, are you guys doing it for your show? Are you taking the audio yet and putting it into the podcast format?
We haven't yet, but we're going to.
I need to figure that out because I've been wanting to do that. I just need to figure out where I can host it most affordably because it's automatically there for me. And then also have it transcribed so that it can be a blog post too, because then the search engines are going to pick that up. But you're absolutely right. And that's one of the things that you've talked about and I've talked about before is that instructors, any instructor out there, we've all got a topic or an area of expertise that can be turned into a blab show. And you talked about following. Well, last week, I was talking to Barb about how I hadn't really done any marketing for the show. I've got so many different things going on right now. It's a holiday and stuff like that. Well, somebody said, isn't that too late? And I'm like, well, the name of the show is Late Night with Me and Udemy. And I like the late night talk show format because I used to work at a call center and I would be driving home and listening to late night talk radio or whatever. And we've got 14 people in here. That's quite a bit, I would say, for right after Christmas and that it's this late at night because we're talking Dave is both Dave and Barb are in the Pacific time zone. I'm in the Mountain time zone. Jeremy, who's got a question that we're going to talk about in just a moment, is on the East Coast. Well, he's got some good questions, and Chad mentioned something there that we'll talk about too. But what I'm just saying is that, and like Barb said, Blab is beta. It's not well known yet. People like if we wore these shirts out in public, they would say, "What's Blab?" And Dave, Dave would like, "Where's that homeless guy going?" that was bad. Sorry.
No, especially this year, yeah.
But people don't know what Blab and Udemy and all of these different things are, and that's why there's so much potential in that. If you're, I was watching Gary Vaynerchuk's course on Udemy, which, by the way, if you're an instructor and you haven't watched that course yet, you've got to watch it both for what Gary has to say about building your brand, but also just the way that he creates this, what I think is a really good course that keeps you engaged. Because, Dave, you were talking about how Udemy said that you have to have these longer flagship courses and all of that. And I've gone through and I've looked at the statistics for the amount of time that students are watching and where they start to fall off within your course. I don't think that most students could get through a long course. I like to say what I call short and sweet. And that's why, like my next course, I'm going to make it a shorter course because I've read Kindle books that talk about that with Kindle. That's what's really popular right now. People want, like what Barb was saying, our attention span is dropping, especially in the younger generation. They want something where they can read it real quick, get the information that they're looking for, and get out and apply it to real world type situations so that they can make money or see the return on their investment quickly instead of spending time watching a 10-hour course or reading a book that's going to take them several days. I can't stay engaged in a book for several days. So I mean, it's definitely something that we have to think about. So Jeremy is asking Dave if you brand your website with and your YouTube channel with your own name, or do you have a brand for that type of stuff?
Yeah, for my YouTube channel is not branded under my name. It's Online Income Academy. So that's the name of the YouTube channel. I'll type it in here in case anybody wants to check it out.
You have a website called Online Income Academy?
No, I have my website. My main website is under my name,
Okay.
DaveEspino.com. And then I have one called howtoteachonlinecourses.com. But before I send anybody there, I got to let you guys know that my sites got hacked. So I have my web designer dealing with, basically, we had to switch to a whole new hosting company and all kinds of stuff. It's a whole nightmare in itself. So I've been doing all my marketing using ClickFunnels, which is thank goodness for that, because without having access to my own sites or being able to use them because they had malware on them. Now I can just do those funnels through ClickFunnels and not worry about that.
I
stuff.
hate that stuff.
But the point is, it's annoying. It's really annoying because I don't even know how many sites I had. I had like 20 or 25 websites, and about half of them got infected. So now I had to kind of go through and go, okay, which sites do we really need, going into 2016, which is good in a way. It was like cleaning house, like spring cleaning ahead of time. Which sites do we really need and can we really focus on? And then I'm going to do any opt-in funnels and everything through ClickFunnels, so I don't have to worry about that stuff. But it's a pain. I mean, in the past, hosting companies would take care of this stuff for you. They would clean it up for you. They would handle it. But now they want to charge you. I think it would have been like $300 a month for the to have this not only the malware detection but also the cleanup of it. So I was like, forget that. We don't need all these sites.
I use WordFence, the WordFence plugin, to protect against that kind of stuff because it's always scanning for malware. And if somebody tries to log into this site, it's sending me a message and it actually blocks them after so many attempts. And you can see like what countries they're coming from, like Turkey or Russia. Romania, and I've got friends from those countries too, and it's sad that there are people out there hacking sites, because it's not like we're Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and stuff like that. We're just trying to make a living, and they're making it hard for us to do that by damaging our sites and stuff like that. But that's why I always tell people to make sure that they're using the right plugins and that they're doing a backup. Because like you said, the hosting companies aren't doing that for you. However, the hosting companies do have WordPress plans now that they'll do stuff like that for you that costs a little bit more. And sometimes you have to spend a little bit more to do business to protect your assets. And that's one of them. So Chad's asking, in that Singapore deal, wasn't it courses that they were already developed that they would partner with Udemy on, or would they possibly buy our courses too? You know anything about that? Like what that deal contains?
The best thing for him, for everyone to do, is to actually Google that announcement and read it, because there is opportunity for you. And there is, it was a blab here. One of the female instructors she's actually gone to Singapore directly, independently. So she'd be like a Dave Espino type. She had a big inventory. She went to them directly and they did a deal with her. And it's, she did cover that here on Blab, and it's under one of the Udemy titles.
I just posted something from November 5th in the Udemy blog called Udemy in Singapore. So maybe that link will have some more information for you. You can take a look. And then, like Barb said, just Google Udemy Singapore, and there should be plenty of information that comes up there. So, gosh, I got to clear my throat here. So yeah, if you've got questions, the /Q space and then type your question, or I've unlocked the seat. So if you're somebody who is comfortable with showing up live on webcam or whatever, you can join us here and ask your question live. That's one of the things that I like about Blab is that engagement. I usually start the Blabs off where we lock the seats so you can have some kind of control and format that you're following, because I've seen some of the Blabs that get a little crazy, and I'm not about craziness. I'm about organization. Yeah.
Boy, Jeremy's in a rare mood tonight, isn't he?
Yeah. Jeremy, why don't you come on board here and ask?
Probably because he has a big bump on his head.
He hasn't shaved. Neither have I. Come in.
So, Barb, you want to be our guinea pig on our skateboarding class?
You know, my son is a skateboarding enthusiast. He's 33 years old now, and he goes everywhere on the skateboard.
I would follow.
Yeah, his first skateboard. He was little, and he was going to leave home on his skateboard.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Yeah. Hey, so Jeremy, what are you thinking about doing for 2016? What are some of the things that you've been doing or putting into place? Because I know that you had been frustrated a few weeks ago about some stuff that had been going on. Have you kind of figured out where you're going with courses, and are you moving into some other channels like Teachable or?
Well, yeah. Okay, hold on. First things first. Are you getting feedback? Because I'm using the speakers, but I can put on my headset if you're getting any feedback.
I don't hear feedback yet.
Sounds good.
So, second thing, real quick. How's the video look? Because my wife got me a brand new camera that I'm talking on.
Did she get you a Logitech?
Yeah, it's a Logitech C920, and it looks brighter on my screen. I don't know if you've seen my videos before. I always look like I'm in a cave, but
yeah,
on my screen it actually looks like I'm brightened up today. So
I have one of those, but I'm not using it. It's upstairs, pointed out at the street to show a live view out across our street during the day.
This is great. I don't have to use a diaper box to put my laptop on. Works out really good.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Let's see, what kind of? I'm using an Amazon box.
Okay, hold on. I was in the middle of something. Let me do this real quick.
Is that what you do, Dave?
Yeah, I use a box to make sure it's at eye level.
I've gotten so much stuff from Amazon the last few weeks. I've got this stand-up desk that I still need to put the little bumpers on. I've got to find a plastic mallet or something. I bought a laptop that's called a Flipbook from Asus that's got Windows 10 because I've got my MacBook for all of my professional stuff, but I wanted something that I could just go lay on the couch and do some work that I could type on, and then you just flip it and it becomes a tablet. So I've got that, and then bought some more memory, exercise ball, exercise mat, stretching straps because of my back. And what else did I buy? Oh, I've got a new whiteboard. So I'm ready for 2016.
So 2016.
Yeah, next week. Wow.
I've been listening to the back and forth about y'all's the course idea, bundling and not bundling, and I wanted to add my opinions into these things, or just kind of see what y'all thought. So when I made my camera courses, I made those volume series, and I've noticed that whenever I sell one, someone always buys volume 2 back to back. It happens all the time.
Wow.
So it would be interesting to see if I combine those, if I would get more revenue because it looks like a bigger course and has better conversion, like you say, or if I get more sales. Now, I made the GarageBand course, which is a 4-part series. And what I did was I made part 1 for free to try to get them into that loop, and then made 2, 3, and 4 for, I think it's $39. And I've had a couple sales here and there. But the day right before Christmas, someone went in and they had already been subscribed into the free course, and they bought part 2, part 3, and part 4 at full price.
Hmm.
So
Wow.
I made, roughly $120 that night. December has been awful for me, by the way, except for that sale boosted me up. If I make $20 more, it won't be my worst month of the year so far. So that's kind of another take. I always see when people buy these volumes, they buy the series. It's like they want to have the whole pack together. And I try to make them different. The graphic designs, they're pretty similar courses, just with different information. The GarageBand courses, part 1 is like a basics, teaching you how to use GarageBand. And then 2, 3, and 4 talk about different things. 2 is recording, 3 is editing, and 4 is mixing. So you get actually, different components of using that software, but I have noticed that they buy them together. So it would be interesting for me to take those courses and combine them and see what happens. But I guess if you unpublish a course, you could republish it later. Like I could test it, unpublish them, make a master course, try that for a couple months, and then pick the better of the two. But it's kind of hard to say.
Yeah, it sounds to me like you got a good thing going there with volume 1, volume 2, volume 3. And because you've already tested it and you know that people are buying more than one volume at a time, that's a really good strategy, I think. I wouldn't change that.
Yeah.
How long are each of these courses approximately?
The GarageBand is 1 to 2 hours each part.
Okay.
I think my graphic design courses, it's just 2 volumes, volume 1 and volume 2. And they're about 2 hours each. They're a little more lengthy. And those 2 courses are pretty much the identical course. That's just talking about, like what I have is I have it's graphic design theory. So in part 1, I have section 1 is on color. And I have 5 lectures on color that talk about, analogous color and different things of color. And then in volume 2, section 1 is color, but I talk about 5 different things about color. So they're kind of identical, but talking about different things. It's different than the GarageBand. But if I showed you my Black Friday sales, I've got pages of pages where people buy volume 1, volume 2 back to back. And I also made a free introduction course to that volume series that's real small. I get a lot of negative feedback on that course because they say, this isn't really good. Sometimes I think about taking it down. But I think in my mind, what I do is I create a free course and people enroll into that. And then you know how Udemy always puts those 3 or 4 courses on the side. You like this course, so you'll probably like this course. Right. Well, my strategy is I give you the free course so you get retargeted with my volume 1 and volume 2, whether it be on the platform or an email. And my Black Friday sales, if I seriously have pages of pages where it's the same person will buy volume 1, volume 2, volume 1, volume 2, sales awesome. Like that, pages and pages of that.
I think that's a great strategy. I would not change that, Jeremy. I think the place where they were talking to me about bundling my courses was where you might have 2 or 3 courses that fit within a category, so to speak, of courses. Right. Like, for example, if I were to bundle my course about how to buy classic cars or how to sell classic cars on eBay, I would be bundling it with other product sourcing strategies. Right. So it all falls under one category of a massive product sourcing course, how to find products to sell on eBay. So it's just an example, but I really like that idea of the volume 1, volume 2, because it just automatically, like you said, it lends itself to people going, I want all of it, and you're getting them while they're hot. And that's the important thing about marketing also, and especially with sales funnels, is the sales funnel process that we were talking about. It gets them hooked by getting their name and email address, putting it into where they get a freebie, and then they instantly right away get sold a bigger bundle, and then even right after that gets sold maybe a coaching bundle, because that's the thing about us as humans. And one of the things Barb was talking about is we're transitory. We're like, oh, look at that. Oh, look at that. Oh, shiny object syndrome, right? And if we don't grab their attention and get them into our engagement, into our funnel, into our interaction right when they're ready, then we might have lost them. So I really like that. I really like that strategy a lot. And I think that would be a good strategy for other people here who are starting to think about building courses. to possibly do volume 1, volume 2, volume 3.
I
Yeah, I
like
think
that.
that's-
Yeah. Go. I was just going to say I like that, and I just think that Dave, you should give that a try.
Well, and then,
Yeah.
it goes
Yep.
back to what Barb was saying too, is doing that method lets you keep the courses shorter. And so
Mhm.
like, if I have volume 1 and someone, say they buy it for $10 or, as a promotion, well, if they don't like it, they won't buy the rest of my courses. But if someone buys it, they like
Right.
my teaching style, they like the information, the course is short and sweet, and I can get to the point real fast, and they'll say, well, I like volume 1, let's see what volume 2 has, and they'll keep going down that path, I think.
Yeah.
Now, going into this a little further, based on a mastermind meeting talk that I had last week, I was talking to Phil, and he was telling me that that I should look at, because my problem is I kind of have a financial struggle right now. I'm trying to get some money quickly to not have to go back and get a 9-to-5 job. So I was trying to, get some ideas. What can I do? And he says, have you tried other platforms? I was like, nah, I think I tried Skill Feed, and they shut down. So I was like, well, whatever. And I never did any others. So he gave me a list of 4 or 5 different ones to try, one of them being Skillshare. And he says the thing that's different about Skillshare is that it's more smaller project-based type courses. And so one thing that I'm going to try next is I'm going to make my first Canva course teaches you how to use Canva. My other Canva courses teach you graphic design theory, but I've never made a course where I sit down and show you how to do these projects or how I would do them, how I would make a Facebook template, how I would make a wedding invitation, an infographic. I've never actually shown that. So I've been on the fence. Do I take that information and put it in another course, or do I take that information and put it in, one of these other courses that I've already had? I think I'm going to make it another course because I like this volume series method. But one thing that Phil suggested to me that was really great was to maybe do kind of an idea like Rob Percival does, like Canva course, how to make 14 projects. He does like iOS course, how to make 14 applications.
Mm-hmm.
I would do like a how to make 14 different graphic design projects.
Yeah.
And each one of those be a section. But then when I have those sections, because they're little small 30, 45-minute sections each, which makes a master course on Udemy, this will be a 4 or 5 hour course. But now I can take those little sections and move those over to Skillshare and have little projects and have 14 courses on Skillshare. So on Udemy, I have one master course, 4 or 5 hours long, teaching you all these projects. But then I go to Skillshare and I have 14 1-hour courses where I can break them down individually and try that. So, it's all testing and trial and see what works, doesn't work, and pivot from there, So that's kind of where I'm at right now. That's my goal for 2016. Maybe try to get this course up before January 1st into this promotion on Udemy, and then start dumping those. If I had 14 1-hour courses, those projects, I could do 1 a week on Skillshare and have courses for the next 3 months,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense for Skillshare because they're more bite-sized nuggets, so to speak, and they pay based on how many minutes people watch your courses? Yeah. So that's a good idea for that.
Which I think is good for smaller courses on there, because if you have a 5-hour course, if you sit down to watch a 5-hour course, you're like, you get tired of it and you shut it off. If it's 30 minutes, you're like, oh, I'm 20 minutes into it, I might as well just finish it. I think it's a different mindset on Skillshare, but I haven't been on Skillshare long enough to know. I'm just guessing at this point.
Hey, I had a question and now I forgot it. Shoot, I was going to ask Dave this question earlier, I think about, what it was, because Jeremy had brought up that we've got this promotion coming up, $10 site-wide sale, and I don't even think that you need a coupon, and that starts, I believe, January 1st.
1st to the 11th.
So I wanted to get your thoughts on that, because back when people were cranking out courses before Black Friday, I was thinking, I don't know if that is going to be so effective, because for me as a buyer, if, let's say, somebody releases a new course out right before Black Friday and I come to Udemy and I come across your course, it's brand new, so it's not going to have that many reviews. It's not going to have that many students possibly. and therefore I might not buy it because of the whole, the social proof thing. So what do you think about like what Jeremy's talking about, like releasing a course before this big sale that's coming up? What are your thoughts on that I just, that I had just mentioned?
Well, I think releasing a course as soon as possible is always a good idea.
Yeah.
Regardless of when, the promos come along or whatever.
Sure.
I actually a couple of my courses that I launched just before Black Friday. In fact, I had to email Udemy support because the courses were approved, but they didn't get into the sale.
Yeah.
So they've got that all straightened out, thank goodness. But the bottom line is one of those courses was about eBay drop shipping. It's a strategy that I've taught for years, but it was always part of a bigger coaching program or whatever. Uh-huh. And I decided to create this into one simple course. And it was actually a short course, about 45 minutes long, because the strategy is simple, but it's very powerful. And it was one of my best selling courses for Black Friday, and it was brand new. So I think it has more to do with the topic that you choose and of course, how you optimize everything.
Yeah.
The topic is so important on Udemy right now because there are topics that are in high demand and then like sourdough bread baking, who knew, right? And then there are topics that are not in high demand. And if you just happen to hit that right topic, you're doing great. And I've always known that perennially drop shipping is like one of the biggest topics on eBay, but for some reason I never made a course about it. I just took it for granted, but that topic was hot, so it worked out really well.
Yeah. Go ahead, Barb.
I forgot mine too. But for me, it was a senior moment. No, actually, I didn't. Jeremy, it's about Jeremy. Jeremy, are you using a passive income marketing funnel for your strategy in promoting your courses and developing your revenue stream?
No, I am not. I have right now a shotgun mentality where I just blast into the air and whatever sticks I keep. I started on online business at the beginning of this year, and the first thing I did was I sold on Teespring, and I didn't start on Udemy until like beginning of June. I know the importance of the
yeah, I was gonna get that was question number 2.
I know the importance of the email list, the marketing funnel. I understand the mechanics. I've been jumping back and forth with whether to promote my own. This is why I asked Dave this question earlier, whether I should promote my own name as a brand, which I have my own website, or should I try to make a website like he's got and try to promote through a funnel that way. I started to make a site called the Audio Video Academy, where I was going to talk mostly about my expertise, which was audio and video, kind of going off of Phil's stuff. He's my idol. but I was going to have a funnel, and I just wasn't feeling it. I wasn't into it. So I'm going back toward promoting my own website at this point. I haven't worked on my website, but 2016, some of my goals is to build up my own website and start funneling people through that. I do have MailChimp set up on that website, and I probably got about 30 subscribers since I launched it around August. It's weird. I don't do anything, but I've got it links on my Udemy courses, and every now and then I'll get an email that says you have a new subscriber, and I'm like, how are people finding out about this? What is that one? Sumo Me.
Sumo Me. Look it up.
All right, I'm writing it down.
I had just to give you an example. So I'm not necessarily using MailChimp, but now this number's kind of inflated because I just imported some of my subscribers, but I'm signing up 30 to 40 people a week on my mail list.
That's good.
And I just I use Sumo Me, and I use ConvertKit. And I am putting out stuff on Twitter. I just posted something here. I use lead pages too. This is, where did it go? This is a link to my WordPress course on Udemy, a marketing course, which is my top selling course. and I put that out on Twitter. And it doesn't matter like how often I do it, because Twitter post has about 15 minutes of fame, just like Andy Warhol is saying. And so I just put it out throughout the day, and people sign up for it. As soon as they sign up for it, they get a coupon, they enroll in the course, and then I send them through a funnel. Within like a day, I welcome them to the course. A couple of days later, I say, here's some more links on WordPress. Within a few days, I say, here's some dollar Udemy courses, because I have onebuckcourses.com. Might as well use that, stuff, and let them know there's more WordPress courses out there besides mine. And then I can continue to walk them through the funnel. And Dave's even given me some ideas. I'm always excited, like after these are done, to implement the stuff that we've talked about. But I know enough about WordPress that I could coach people on WordPress marketing. So why not, like, once I get people into that funnel with my course, as one of the things towards the end, offer them coaching on WordPress for, $500, $1,000 or whatever. There might be one out of 100 that says, yes, I'll go for it. And that's all I need, because that $1,000, if I could do that once every month, that's huge when it comes to my income. Then I get closer to my goal of $3,000 to $5,000 a month. But Jeremy, if you don't do that stuff, the people aren't going to show up. And it's just like, you have a wonderful idea on your volume 1, 2, and 3. And that's also given me some ideas. But, give somebody maybe like the first one for free, and then they have the option of buying 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And that can be done with anything from email marketing to WordPress to eBay, to marketing, to business, anything. But we have to put that stuff together, and we have to use the tools like SumoMe and MailChimp and ConvertKit, and put together lead magnets and use Lead Pages. Lead Pages has an announcement coming up because they're doing some new stuff this week. And I love Lead Pages. It's a wonderful tool for marketing. And
every year they do that.
Yeah, they have to up their game.
Of that plan.
Yeah, they have to up their game. So utilizing those tools and utilizing Blab. Dave talked about that. It's like we're instructors, and everybody, Jeremy, Canva, graphic design, stuff like that. So start your own Blab. I don't care if other instructors are out there, because I know, like, I started Blab back, Dave, I think that maybe like one of his first ones, he invited me in after I found it, and then I did my own and all of that. But I'm like, I have to do this weekly. Now, next week, I won't be doing the show because the day after is my birthday, and I want to go out on Sunday night for my birthday, which is on Monday. So I just said I'll skip a week and then go back to it again. But I have to force myself to do that kind of stuff and go back and re-promote this stuff and reuse content that you already have. Dave has YouTube content, and I have blog posts and things like that I always have to remind myself, like, this is still relevant information, so why not share it again? And so this Blab that we're recording today is still relevant for weeks into 2016. I just shared the first hangout that I did with Rob Cubbin, Matt, Grant Weirley, and Alan Hill. Remember Alan Hill? So I had him on my hangout, and I can still share that information because the information that we talked about is relevant. And I keep telling these new instructors, watch this stuff and learn from it, because people like Dave or Barb, who has been in business for years, Jeremy yourself, who has you have expertise in audio and visual stuff and Canva and all of that we have relevant information that if people would listen to. I know Ali is on here with us, and he's in the social media realm, and he's got some great courses on Instagram, and people should be using Instagram. It's hot right now. It's owned by Facebook, but it's very visual, and they're starting to break into the ads and stuff like that. He's agreeing with me, saying absolutely. So you have to utilize these tools that are out there, and many of them are free, and cool t-shirts and stuff like that.
I think we have the coolest t-shirts on this.
I like what you guys have done. That's really, I mean, that's awesome. But yeah, remember the tools.
Now, what do y'all think about? Do you think that I need a brand that's outside of my name, or do you think I can roll with my name?
Dave, you want to comment on that first?
Sure. It's a good question. It really depends on whether you're going to promote yourself as a quote guru or an expert. Now, I happen to have come in like from the infomercial. I was already promoted as a guru. I didn't have a choice. As the eBay guy, you know, so I just kind of rolled with it. But it really depends on here's what I think. Like, think of someone like Brendan Burchard, who has promoted himself as the brand, right? He went big. He one of the first ways he became big was he did a lot of work with nonprofits, and he did a lot of what is the word I'm looking for? Partnering and joint venturing with nonprofits and with sponsorships is what it was. I actually attended one of his seminars in San Francisco many years ago, and it was all about sponsorships. And because of these sponsorships with big companies, he was able to generate huge email lists and be able to really take off from that. So the point that I'm getting at is, if your vision for your business is that at some point you're going to be the star, the expert, the coach, consultant, if you're going to offer coaching at some point, then you probably want to brand it with your name. If instead you want to build a brand around your expertise, then you want to brand it there. I would always have your name as a .com anyway, though, because that could be your blog. It could just be a little bit more personal space where you type your own information or you post your own stuff, and then still have your brand. So I guess my answer would be both. The question is to which degree you want to emphasize which one. You know.
Yeah, and Barb T, what are your thoughts on that? BarbT.com.
Right. I own Barb Tomlin. I own Barbara Tomlin. I've owned them for a long, long time. And my corporation is Westward Connections. I own Westward.com and over 100 other domains. But here's the thing, Jeremy. Huh?
I thought my 4 domains that I bought was a lot.
Domainhoarder.com.
Well, I have sold domains for 6 figures and such.
Wow.
You know, it's like that in itself is a Udemy course.
Absolutely.
And it's the domain game is that has also changed. But let's talk about where we are today and why Barb is actually using Barb T, and she's not even mentioning our company name. And I will be celebrating my 30 years in business this year.
Awesome.
I started in April of '86 with the business that I have now. That's the core. It's really the holding company now for all of these other ventures I've gotten involved in. And what I'm launching in 2016 and what Udemy has to do with that transition in my life with those domains. But at the core of that, it's Barb. So the Barb T, the personal thing, well, that's the storytelling, because it is all in the story. And that's where you go. Michael Margolius, the Marie Forleo, Brendan Burchard. If you take any of those courses, that's what it's all about. And it's about developing that relationship. And what Dave was talking about, the nonprofits and helping out with nonprofits, it's about social good. You will find that now that there are social corporations being formed in many states. They're allowing that to be a legal entity. But it's the idea of founding your company all for making a difference that has a social impact, whether or not just within your state, within your country, or around the world. So that's what that's really about. And it's good karma. And for someone like you and what your background is, it's perfect for you. But number one, I would advise you is start with your branding you. And actually, 2 Udemy instructors have trademarked that as a Udemy course that they offer. I asked them, they allowed me to post this blab in their private Facebook group today, and I encouraged the students from there to come into this blab this evening. And I honestly don't know if any of them are here, but I took that course, and you might check it out. Those 2 guys and what Anthony and Jonathan have put together. But it's all about building the brand around you and at making that your company.
Yeah.
I'm at the other end in life, so it's a question, well, how valuable is Barb T? Well, it's not. It's about that story, and it can go beyond you, but it's also living in the moment and making a difference in your life and others' lives right now. So I'd say go forth and be you.
Yeah, I think that those are good points, because I have DennisJSmith.com, and Matt and I go back and forth on this, because I also have OneBuckCourses.com, OnlineCourseCoupons.com, TheCourseFactory.com. Those are all just my brands. They're part of my business, and I just direct people to DennisJSmith.com and have everything there. Now, the website, it has a decent theme, but I need to go back in and redo it, clean it up, and change some things around, because I've changed my focus from doing social media, which I did when I wrote my book, to discovering Udemy and teaching courses. So now I need to have more focus on the courses, the blabs that I do, and the books. So that one book that I've written, another book that I'm writing. Those are, and my YouTube stuff, that's where I need to just branch out from there. But it's okay to have other brands and other things that you're doing, because you can share between that kind of stuff too. You can share, if you have a website for your Canva stuff or whatever, and you write a blog post on Canva, you can share that over to your personal website. It's very easy to do. There's applications that I share stuff between websites all the time.
Well, you bring up a good point, and I think that's where part of my question stems from, is that I love to do so many different things. I have so many hobbies and interests and experience. I've done so many different things. I feel like if I started my own, JeremyDeegan.com, and started a blog, would people be interested in it? Because one day I might be writing about skating or surfing, and the next day I might be writing about Canva, and the next day I'm writing about music, and I feel like I might lose interest that ways, versus having something that had a laser focus, if I just had a Canva type site.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, real quick. Let me just say something real quick, if you don't mind. I just wanted to thank some of the people who are joining us tonight. I see that Arissa and Sam and Ali's here tonight, and Sally's here. I know Sally from the studio. And just remind people that they can follow people like Barb, who has been on Blab for a long time, Dave, Jeremy, myself. You just hover above those circles there and click the follow button to follow us on Blab, and over the Twitter bird to follow us on Twitter. So, if you want to know when Barb is doing a Blab or whatever, it allows her to send out something as soon as she comes onto Blab, or anytime that she creates a new Blab, or I do that, or Dave does that, it'll let you know. So go ahead, Barb. Don't forget your thought.
Yeah, right. You do that very. That's one of the things having had cancer has done for me. It has affected my brain to some degree. So that's what when the subject gets changed, then I lose it very often. But I don't know why. I'm a little bit concerned about Jeremy. He's an artist. I relate to artists. I'm an artist as well, and an entrepreneurial artist for over 40 years. And Jeremy, this is the time in your life. You need to seize the day. You shared with us as you came in, well, I'm at that stage where I really need to make money or I'll go back to a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah.
And so reality has got to set in with you. And so I would encourage you to sit down and just write a 10-point plan of things that you're going to do and take a look at that funnel. Commit to that email program, 1. And 2, you talked about the blog. Look, I've had my domains for a long, long time, and I'm not into it. Life is too short. But this is why I'm here on Blab, because now we have this visual element. Mm-hmm. So your Blab content can be your blog. You don't have to have a multi-page blog. It's basically you have your replays from here and commentary notes from here, and that's your content. But you want to come in here and engage. You want to take advantage. Blab will have a new feature out soon where you can inherently, you can actually feature your YouTube video of you doing something in one of the seats, and you can be in the other one discussing that with students who are in the other windows. Take advantage of that. Seize the day and put that on your blog site. And that is your blog, but you become the Jeremy of Blab and the artist that's, and you're sharing, because art is a visual medium. And the type of art that you are doing, this is a platform for that. And so that makes it very easy for you. And and I will come in and help you. I will commit to that, because I have sold a lot of stuff for a lot of other people in here when I've been in here, because it is about relationships and it's about engaging people with what that other person is doing. And it's not about me, but it's about the gifts that you have and sharing them with the world and being able to bring that out so that other people are excited about it.
Yeah.
So, just get on board with it. But it is about you. So,
thank you.
But I'll help you. You look me up. If you're following me on Twitter, just direct your tweet at me and it'll get to my phone. That's what's been going on here.
Is that what that ding is?
Yeah, the ding ding.
I think I got you. I'm going to do it real quick.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Okay.
We got 15 people, and I was looking at the time. I was like, we've been going at this almost 2 hours, and I'm thinking, boy, we've actually been going 2 hours, but we've had like a lot of great information that we've shared. Because I try to, Dave, when we did some of these blabs before, remember we were like thinking about like handing off the torch while somebody went to go eat dinner or something like that, and then coming back. I mean, we should do like a blab marathon or something like that sometime. New Year's Day blab marathon, and we'll just start in the morning and go throughout the day. Yeah. See, Jeremy's going to go take a break right now. So
no, I gotta trump y'all shirt. The shirt thing's driving me crazy. Everyone's got a better shirt. I got a better shirt on me.
Oh, that's it. I'm taking the sticker off.
Wow. What is Udemy?
I got that from what was it? That contest they had for Black Friday.
I have Udemy USB cable.
Oh yeah, I got Udemy. I got the Udemy book. All the secrets that you ever want to know, right there.
It's all blank inside, right?
That's the secret. You got to come up with your own stuff.
Oh yeah, that was from the Black Friday challenge, right?
Yeah. Yep. Everyone thought I was crazy because I did it for a free course. I had people texting me like, "Why would you put a free course for the challenge?" I was like, "It's my master plan." It didn't turn out that well.
I'm nervous that mine will shrink once I wash this the first time, so I'm going to wash it on cold and hang dry it so that it doesn't shrink, and then try to get to my goal of losing 30 pounds by March. So then it'll work for me.
I know an instructor who's got good courses on working out and eating right.
Yeah. Hey, before we wrap things up, since we're talking about success in 2016, let's go around and maybe talk about a few goals that we have for 2016 when it comes to Udemy, passive income, or our businesses, or maybe even our personal lives. Dave, you want to start off first with that, and we'll just go around to Jeremy, Barb, and myself.
Oh, wow.
Just a few things.
I have a whole list that I did a few days ago, actually. I just spent some quiet time. I spent some time in prayer, and I thought about what I want to do for 2016. So the main goals, I would say, are to build 2 funnels, one about eBay and one about Udemy, or more specifically about teaching online, because it's not just about Udemy.
Right.
And the funnels will both lead to coaching programs. The eBay one will be a home study course bundle, so that won't involve coaching. The area where I really want to be focused on coaching is, and where I really think I can make a difference, is passive income, teaching people how to build out not just their courses, but then their own coaching program beyond that. I think that's where really the big money will be for a lot of people in 2016. As far as Udemy itself goes, my goals there are to bundle a few courses, not a lot. And I probably will still add about 1 course every month or 2. I'm going to slow down quite a bit in my course creation, but it'll be more about really focusing on marketing my course bundles about eBay and my course bundles about Udemy. That'll be it. That way, my focus can be very strategic and very honed in on what's going to generate the best income in the long run, and keep me doing stuff that keeps me happy, because I love teaching and helping people with Udemy stuff. So that's where I feel I can make the best difference for a lot of people in 2016. So that's where I'm going to focus my time.
Good. Sounds like some great goals that you have there. I'll have to check back with you and see how you're doing on those.
Yeah, sounds good.
Jeremy.
All right, so I wrote down a Udemy goal, business goal, and a personal goal. For Udemy, I'm making an average about $500 a month right now. I don't mind discussing numbers with people. Everyone always freaks out when you start talking about numbers, but I make an average about $500 with about 10 courses on Udemy right now. If I could make $2,000 to $3,000 a month, I would replace the income I was making at my job before I stopped working. My wife kind of gave me some leeway to do that. So if I could replace that $2,000 to $3,000, I could stay just doing this and then really focus on the business aspects of things and just feel a lot more comfortable than how I feel right now. And then I figured if I could do if I could do about $4,000 a month, then I could put my wife back in school, which is what she really wants to do. She could take a break from her job and go back in school. So I figured I need to about 10 times what I have, or I need to do about 4 times what I'm doing now, 4 to 6 or 8 times. So I need about 40 courses or so. Now I know that math isn't the same, because some courses will do good, some won't do good. As we talked about, having more courses doesn't necessarily mean, better revenue. But my goal has been about 40 courses. I feel if I could get in that 30 to 40 course range, I could start seeing that income that would start making me feel more comfortable and getting to a point where I can start, helping the family out a little more. For a business goal, I've talked about this with you, Dennis, and maybe some other people, but I also am starting a side project. I go to church, and it's a contemporary church where we do a lot of more contemporary music, rock kind of music, lights, video, those kinds of things. So I'm starting a side business where I'm going to be basically creating video effects, graphics, motion backgrounds, and things like that for churches. And when I build this, that whole email marketing and funnel aspect of everything, I'm going to keep in mind. That is going to be the basis. So Udemy right now for me is, kind of get some cash quick and kind of replace the income. And then on the side, have this slow rolling side business where I'm not just trying to make money and sell products right away. I'm going to try to build that audience and build, that network and try to get that out on YouTube and what have you. And then, like I said, my main focus right now is financial. We are about $150,000 in debt with student loans, the house that we bought, cars, credit cards. It's a mess right now in my life. So my personal goal for this year is to try to pay off as much or all of the debt that we have, and try to get that knocked off. If it's not the mortgage, we could do about half of that. So my personal goal is to get out of this debt. I have 2 kids. I have a 2-year-old and a 4-year-old. I have, a wonderful wife, and I don't want to leave this world with debt and not give them anything, not leave them with anything, any type of legacy or anything of their own. So having these kids has totally shifted my mindset of things. So I want to pay off this debt and start building a future for my family. So those are my 3 goals for this year.
Great. Good. Barb?
Well, I want to realize my dream of getting all my family relocated to the Spokane Valley in Washington. Mm-hmm. And that is major in and of itself. But, to accomplish that, I have to move my corporate holdings from New Mexico to Washington. And so it's been part of a 5-year program. And so my number 1 goal for 2016 is to arrive on April the 29th, still being cancer-free, because on that date, it will be officially 5 years. And the American Cancer Society says, she's pretty much they're saying the chances are very slim and none that it won't return. So I just want to make it to then. So it's all good.
That's a good goal. I have dealt with cancer myself, but skin cancer, and so not like as serious as some of the other forms of cancer, but still not fun. I've had it on my nose a couple of times. I just went to the dermatologist and had a good appointment, but he likes to go around and zap parts of my skin where I've got sun damage or whatever. So I have to remind myself to wear sunscreen. But I mean, I have certain goals, like both money and stuff like that. And I kind of feel weird sometimes when it's like a monetary goal, because I also believe in the laws of reciprocity and stuff like that, that when you give, that it'll come back in abundance. And so I try not to focus on the financial aspect of things as much. I mean, my number 1 goal is to wake up every day alive and enjoy life. And I'm more of a spiritual person, and I'm trying to get more into meditation and also more exercise, because I need to lose some weight, because I know that a lot of health issues that I've had come from weight. And so I want to drop down, a little bit more in my weight to bring my blood pressure down and make my back stronger, because I had back surgery. But I have a couple of goals in mind, to between $3,000 and $5,000 income a month with everything that I do. So Dave talks about his passive income show, which, Dave, why don't you go ahead and post a link to that while I'm talking in the chat there, because that's coming up this week. Is that with $3,000 to $5,000, I can pay down my bills, pay down my student loans, live on my own, because I've been living with my parents when we had the downturn in the economy, and my car, which I had an accident on the way to see Barb and some other people in the Bend area this summer, had an accident in Seattle. The bumper got damaged, but I'm okay. But I still would like to get a new car. And I want a nice car. I want a Ford Fusion Energy, which is the electric version of the Fusion, because earlier this year I rented a Fusion, and I have a Ford Focus, and I like their product. So that's the car that I would like to get. I had the Tesla on my screen, but I'm thinking, the Tesla's a little bit too spendy. But so there's that, moving out on my own, and more Udemy courses. And just like what Dave said, he likes helping other people, teaching other people. I like doing that too. I like the fact that Udemy is worldwide and that our courses can help people in other countries have a better life. And by what I share and what I teach can help people have a better life too. So I do these things like the blabs, not because I like to talk a lot, but because I like to get people together and share good information to help others. So those are some of my goals for 2016. And I certainly hope the people that are watching tonight have goals, because I've taken classes on that. And it's good to have goals and write them down and continue to write them down. And don't let other people tell you that you can't, because I've had people in my life who don't have the same thought process that I do. And just because I say that I want a $36,000 car, but I have debt, doesn't mean that I won't get there. If I keep working hard and doing all of the right things and focus, I know that I can get there, and I know that other people can get to their dreams too if they continue to focus and do some of the stuff that we've talked about tonight. So I want to go ahead and wrap it up and thank everyone for joining us. I'll be back again, not this coming Sunday the 3rd, because my birthday is on Monday the 4th, and so I'll probably be going out just to have a nice dinner with some friends or have a drink. Or a lot of times for my birthday, I reflect on the year that's gone by and what I want to accomplish in the year coming up. I always do that on my birthday because that's just happens to be that my birthday falls at the beginning of the year, and maybe because I'm a Capricorn. So the next show is going to be on Sunday, January the 10th in 2016. It's so weird to say that because I lived in Seattle and I remember Y2K and celebrating that, and now thinking that we're 16 years away from that. Jeremy says, yeah, Jeremy's birthday is coming up too. He's 4 days older.
Yeah, December 31st, man.
Yeah, I think I'm a little bit older than you, but so, not that I want to say that. Let's just say in 2 years, I want to go on a cruise for my 50th in the Bahamas. So that's my goal for my 50th birthday, is to take a cruise around the Caribbean and the Bahamas, and I know I can do that. So thanks, Ali. Appreciate that. So yeah, so we'll go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks, Dave. Thanks for joining me tonight.
Thank you guys for having me. Appreciate it.
Show. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Barb, for sharing your insights and helping me out. So happy New Year, everyone. Happy 2016. And we'll see you here in a few more weeks, and I'll see you online. Good night, everyone. Yeah, party.
Good night.
Take care. Bye. I like closing things out here. All right. Good night, Barb. Thanks.
Good night. I'm trying to.
All right. Good night, John Boy. Take care. Happy New Year, everyone. Thanks for joining me. Good night.